Hey, my name is Cedric and welcome back to the channel. And if it's your first time of seeing this channel, well, we actually release videos about Facebook ads every week. So consider subscribing to the channel because we definitely release and give a lot of value about Facebook advertising. And in this video, I will be talking about how to create custom audiences inside Facebook and Ads Manager, but post iOS 14, because a lot of different things have changed, and some things that we were doing in our agency and for our clients, things that we used to do in the past, aren't really the things that we're doing right now because of iOS. And like I said, because a lot of things have changed. So in this video, I will be sharing all the different things that we are currently doing and changing in our agency so that we can keep seeing those results that we were seeing before iOS. So let's get right into that. So I'm actually going to navigate to Audience Manager. You can create your audiences inside your ad sets, but I always prefer just going to your Audience Manager so that you can see all the different audiences that you've also created in the past. So here we are. Now I'm going to click the Create Audience button. So you have different types of audiences that you can create, right? You can create your custom audience, your lookalike audience, and then your special ad audience. This video is all about building custom audiences, but I'm also going to touch on lookalike audiences and what sort of lookalike audience I personally think, and just from the data that we're able to collect from all the ad accounts that we manage, that are really working great, and also some of the lookalike audiences that I would still recommend you testing it, but just based on what I've been seeing, they're not working as well as they used to be. And it all comes down to the source, right? Which is the custom audience. So let's start with that. Okay, so as you can see, there's 12 different audience source that you could potentially use to create your audience. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I will go through the ones that I use basically on a day-to-day basis. So let's start with the first one, so the website source. So this one, it used to be really powerful, and I used to love creating audiences that retargets the people that have been to that specific website. Now, due to the iOS 14, and they're even giving us a warning right now, that audience size definitely decreased. And I used to have campaigns just for retargeting. So depending on how much that specific account is spending on Facebook ads, sometimes I would use a structure for like tofu, mofu, bofu. So top of funnel, middle funnel, and then bottom of funnel. Or sometimes when it's a smaller budget, I used to love doing just a prospecting and then retargeting and have that as two different campaigns. And the retargeting would just be retargeting people that have been to the website or been to the website and added a specific product to the cart but did not purchase. But now, because of iOS, I found that those audiences are actually having a really high cost per result, whether that's a purchase or for a lead. I found through my experience, and again, all the ad accounts that I manage, that creating an audience based on the website visitors because of iOS 14 right now isn't the most, let's say, fruitful audience. And the reason for this is because iOS 14 blocks any sort of third-party trackers. So the Facebook pixel is from facebook.com, right? It's in a third-party context. So when a user goes to your website and the Facebook pixel loads, well, if they're on an iOS device, well, they're actually blocking that data from being sent to Facebook. And that's one of the main reasons Facebook isn't able to put all these people in your audience. So they're only able to see a certain amount of people that have been to your website and let's say did not convert and add them to your audience, which is why they're giving us that warning again and saying that the audience size will be much smaller. Now, I still recommend you to test it. You can definitely see a great return on investment or on ad spend, and yes, still see some results, but it doesn't work as well as it used to work. And I'll talk about some other alternatives and some other things that you should definitely want to test. So let's go back here. One more thing actually for the website. Before, I would say that you can definitely try a retention 30 days or 60 days. But now, because of iOS and because the audiences are much more smaller, I recommend that you actually use the 180 days. And the reason for that is because we want to have as much people in that audience, because especially if you have that audience has like its own ad set, and that's the only audience that you have in that ad set, you definitely want to be able to leave the learning phase, especially if it's like a conversion campaign. So having as much data as possible is always the best for Facebook. So I definitely recommend that you try the 180 days. And if you're able to leave that learning phase with no problem, And then maybe you want to try actually segmenting that to, let's say, having a 30-day, 90-day, like 120 days, and seeing what sort of ratio works best for your campaign and what sort of retention date works best. Now, the second audience source that I really want to be talking about is the customer list. So this actually used to be my winning audience. So every time I would want to launch a campaign, let's say for a product, I would go into my client Shopify account, I would go to their orders, and then download a CSV list of everyone that have purchased that specific product that I'm promoting, but in the past. And then I'd upload that audience in the audience manager, and then I would create a lookalike audience. Now, this is honestly still a really good audience. I do find recently that an interest-based audience works best than the lookalike for the email list, or like not the email list, but an order list. But that's just something I've found through a few different ad accounts, but it's definitely still an amazing audience and it still works really well. But one thing to watch out for is, right now we're talking about iOS 14 and sort of the best practice and how you can adjust. But iOS 15, I have to have some bad news for you. I mean, depending on when you're watching this video, you might already know about iOS 15, but it is coming out soon. And this specific update will actually be targeting anyone utilizing like email marketing or any sort of tactics to generate email, and that's going to definitely affect you if that's something that you're doing, because iOS 15 and that privacy policy update will actually give the user the option to block their email address. So what it would do is, with iCloud, when they submit their email, is going to say, do you want to give out your real email, or do you want to give out like another email to protect your privacy? But they will still receive their email. So iCloud on their iPhone will automatically generate a fake email, and that's what that is, and that's what they're going to use to, let's say, make that purchase or submit the form. And then from there, they will still receive those emails, but then when you're looking at your email list or at your orders, you might actually see a lot of like random iCloud emails that when you try to upload that into Facebook, well, Facebook is not going to be able to match that with an actual user because it's not a real email. And it's not like they're going to keep that fake email. They actually have the option to go on their phone and delete or change that fake email address like as often as they want. So right now, customer lists work really great, but definitely prepare yourself and brace yourself, because I am strongly predicting that in the future we will have a hard time getting their actual emails. But I also think that's why a lot more companies, and that might be something you want to start looking at, is instead of just giving them the option of putting their email address, they can actually sign in or give their information via Google, or even better, via Facebook. Because if you're using sign in with Facebook, well, you're for sure going to have the right email address. So I think potentially more companies are going to switch to that approach instead of just asking for the user's email address. But yeah, who knows, right? I can't so much predict the future, but I think that's where we're going with that. But it's definitely curious and interesting, and that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this video, so that I can prepare you guys for that, and also tell you what are sort of the things that you should be doing right now, so that when that, let's say, iOS 15 do come out, you'll kind of have an idea what to do. So if we go back, because of iOS 14 and iOS 15 that is coming soon, I definitely recommend that if you can, use Facebook sources. So if you are, let's say, a service-based business and you can actually collect lead on Facebook, I know that sometimes the leads won't be as good quality, so it's definitely something that you can test out, but try to actually do, let's say, a lead generation campaign, because what you can do after that is you can easily retarget the people that have, let's say, opened the form or didn't submit it, or create a lookalike based off the people that have submitted the form. And because it stays in Facebook platform, Facebook can track it. And I've seen the information that we get in our CRM when we get a new leads, and also what Facebook reports in Ads Manager when we get a new lead, and it exactly matches. It's really rare that I'll see that, oh, that's weird, you know, like that lead isn't showing up in Ads Manager, but we have got a new lead in our CRM. Really, really rare. So I just want to say that Facebook does an excellent job at tracking what happens on their platform. So if you can, try to use the lead form. And the other thing is shopping. So soon it should be everywhere, but you're actually going to be able to retarget people that have actually purchased something on your store. And the reason I'm saying soon is because not everyone can actually use the Facebook shop to have customers buying products on Facebook. That's actually, according to their article and their documentation, it's only available for customers that are actually located in the United States. So if you live in Canada, like myself, or other countries, right now the Facebook shopping is available, but there's a button that they need to click to visit the website. And when they do that, then it's off. It's not on Facebook's platform anymore. So they need to go on the website and then convert. But then again, that's at this point not Facebook's platform. So then that's why one of the reasons Facebook has a hard time tracking these conversions. But if you can keep everything on the Facebook platform, then that's even better. So then you can definitely, so you'd be doing the same thing. You create a lookalike based off the customers that have bought your product, but you're not going on your Shopify store to export that list. You're just telling Facebook, hey, like the people that have bought my product through your platform, will create a lookalike off that. And this is exactly where Facebook is going. Facebook knows that in the future, customer lists and email lists and all these sort of things they're going to be, I mean, privacy is only increasing and people care more about the privacy. So I think these things are going away. Facebook knows about that. So that's why they're constantly releasing new tools and new features. Like, for example, the lead form. Back then, a lot of people didn't really want to submit their information for a lead form. They prefer just doing it on the website. But people are getting more and more comfortable submitting a lead form on Facebook. Well, it's going to be the same thing with shopping. Probably, I'm assuming some people are like a little bit skeptical at putting their credit card on the Facebook platform, just because of all the different things that are happening with Facebook and like the buzz that is going around. But eventually, it's going to be normal. People are going to be okay paying through Facebook. And I think I'm not saying that websites are going to go away, but I think that a lot of the users are going to be actually buying and going through Facebook. And it's actually going to be better for us marketers and advertisers because, like I said, it's going to stay in the first party context. So if you can, please do try to create try it out. Create an audience and create a lookalike audience based on people that have, let's say, maybe even view your shop. So you can take a look at that, or maybe even a lookalike based on the people that have purchased. If you're able to track, or if you're able to do that based on where you live in the world, because like I said, it's only the United States. But other awesome custom audiences that aren't really getting affected too much by iOS 14 is a video, right? So you can use a video, you can post it. One thing I like doing is posting on my client's like actual Facebook page or Instagram account, and then using that as just in post. And you can also like reuse their current engagement on the post, so it's great for that. And just try to get some video views. Let's say the video is about a specific product. Well, that video that you're posting on post might be talking about it, not really selling it, but just like explaining what it is. And then you know that the people that are watching it are definitely interested. So you could create your audience based off that. You can retarget the people, or you can create a lookalike based off the people that have viewed a certain percentage of your video. And same thing with like Instagram account, and same thing with your Facebook page, right? You can create custom audiences based on the people that have, let's say, engaged or viewed your page. And those audiences are not really decreasing in size. So that's why I really recommend that you try out these custom audiences for your targeting, because they're not really getting affected too much by iOS. Facebook is still doing an incredible job at tracking anything that happens internally in the first party. But all these sort of other sources, I did find that before iOS, they honestly used to be my winner, and I always probably use the customer list and the website. But now I'm finding that interest audiences are like working better, or when I target like a competitor, it's working best in a lookalike based on the people that purchased. So that is just telling me that Facebook is really having a hard time matching all this data that I'm giving it from my sources to actual Facebook profile. So guys, that is it for this video. If I could wrap all this up and put this into one sentence is that try to use the Facebook sources as much as you can, especially if you're not getting results with your current sources, or you're having a hard time getting out of the learning phase, or you're seeing that the reach is really, really low for what you're paying. Well, that's probably because your audience is like just reduced by a lot in size. But Facebook sources, all these different sources right here, are not getting affected too much by that. So that is it for this video. If you enjoyed the content, please give it a thumbs up, and that will help me show this video to more people on YouTube. That's just how the algorithm works. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel, because like I said, we release videos just like this one every week. Bye for now.